Hello friends, and welcome to today's video. We're going to be doing some plotting, I think, in this video, or at least some brainstorming. Yeah, I'm gonna say plotting. I feel weird saying plotting because I'm just usually not a plotter, and I don't know why. I mean, for the most part, I've been discover writing my book, but I think that if I want to have deadlines and try to finish this book in the next couple months, then I'm going to need to figure out what the heck's gonna happen. And even as I'm writing, I am starting to see how I may be having too many themes going on in my story, and like I'm not addressing them enough throughout. So I kind of want to do some brainstorming and plotting and organizing so I can have like more concrete deadlines, which is something I do want to give myself. So yeah, I have up to chapter 37 planned, and I really don't foresee having how many chapters do I think? If I can have a guess, I'm gonna say after chapter 37 there's probably going to be another good, I'm gonna say no more than like 20 chapters after that, because chapter 37, guys, I mean, as it currently stands, is juicy. Yeah, it's pretty freaking juicy. So I want to know what's gonna happen after that, because in that chapter there's like a moment where like all the feelings are out. She's in the position where she has all the information and she's not second guessing anything, and now she needs to decide where she's gonna go from there, and I don't know where she's gonna go from there. And again, like I said, there's so many other themes in this book that I don't feel like I've addressed properly. So we're just gonna go ahead and brainstorm for today's video, do some plotting, and honestly, I just want to plot the rest of my book, to be honest. And then maybe in the next video or something, I'll have a better idea of where I want my deadlines to be. I think ideally I would like to write like 5,000 words a week. Or is that crazy? But no, I have the time. I have the time, so let me just do the thing. I think I can write 5,000 words a week. But yeah, based on that and how many chapters I have left, I can calculate how many weeks it's gonna take to finish this book. So I'm so excited. And I also wanted to just go ahead and say, like, in my last video, the comments in that video was so sweet, and like I just want to say thank you guys for all the sweet words, all the kind messages, because sometimes, you know, I have imposter syndrome and I'm like, am I taking too long? Am I the only one who feels this way? Am I missing something? But it was just very validating to see that I'm not alone, and that many of you guys share similar sentiment and have experienced similar things. And that's what I just love about authortube, is that if I were to not have this community, I probably, well, first of all, I probably wouldn't have written this book, and also I would have probably thought that I'm doing something wrong and I'm just not cut out for this, because, you know, we see all these finished copies and finished drafts, these amazing authors, and when you don't see the first draft, it's kind of like, oh, they're just so good, but it takes a long time to get to that spot. And this is my first time, so I'm definitely figuring things out as I go. But yeah, I'm going to grab my whiteboard, I'm going to review my current outline, and yeah, get to work. But for right now, I'm going to try my best to just continue on from what I have, because I know that there's so many things I want to add in previous chapters, but I know that I can just like reverse outline after I'm done. So that is the plan. That is what we're going to do. And I'm so excited. So let's go ahead and get started.
Perfect Sunday, on the blues. We looked happy, but I was going through, yeah. All my senses, really know it. Set to end it, but I was leaving you and picking daisies, contemplating. Cause you say things, but never really do, yeah. You're never pulling through for me. My intuition's always right. Broken heart better than FBI. I had your back, but you just wrong.
Okay, so it is the next day. I did some outlining last night and then this morning, and I'm almost done, and I'm gonna come back and give you guys an update. But I just needed to come and talk about something that just completely changed my view of outlining and plotting. So I have this like Word dump document where, since the beginning of drafting, if I have an idea but it's not quite yet time to implement it into the manuscript, I'll put it in the dump document. It's ideas, it's quotes, it's a whole mess of things. And anytime I have an idea about how I want the ending to go, the middle, whatever, I put it in there, and that's kind of what I'm using to refer to while I'm like plotting the rest of my book. And it's so crazy because I feel like I'm starting to know these characters a lot more. The girl still but we're gonna get there. But for sure, August and Xander, my two love interests, they are so solid. And so I was like referring to the word dump document, and I was like, I had an idea of how I wanted the book to end, and or at least how I wanted the climax to go. And I didn't realize it at the time, but there's a third act breakup, and I was like, I typically don't enjoy third act breakups. It's not the worst thing, but I feel like for the most part, anytime I see a third act breakup, it's never warranted. Although I do think a third act breakup in this case would be warranted, it still bothered me because I was like, okay, I hate it when there's a character who decides to end it all because they think they're protecting someone else. Because at the end of the day, two people can make a decision and choose what is right for them. And I didn't think that it was normal for one of my characters to have the third act breakup with Noah, because I was like, it's completely opposite to how he's been this whole time. So it was weird because the person who was doing the third act breakup was doing exactly what the other love interests would do because they're opposite. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, yeah, and I just don't want this character to come across as, oh, I'm a man and I can choose what's best for Noah, and she doesn't know that I'm trying to protect her. Noah can protect herself. Noah knows when she needs to end a relationship that's no longer serving her or that's not best for her. So I completely scrapped that idea. And instead, I switched it to the person who was gonna initially do the third act breakup is now like, I will leave everything for Noah. Everything that this character has been working towards this whole book is willing to leave it all for Noah. And the way that I swooned, guys, the way that this man had me like cheesing, I was just like, dude. And that's how I know I made the right decision, because of course, like when I'm drafting and I have an idea, I'll just put it in there. And it's been several months since I've written that, and I know the character so much more deeply now. And so I'm so glad that I can now recognize that that's just not who they are. And that's all growth. I love me like a yearning man, and I want both of these guys to be on their knees for Noah and willing to do anything for Noah. I want it to be, I think I mentioned this like earlier on in my writing journey, how I want this love triangle to be so hard to choose. And I am trying my best to also not like do a thing where towards the end, like the, how do I say? But is that what I'm doing? I don't know. Like I was gonna say, I want to try not to make it towards the end where it makes it an easy choice for her to not choose one guy because they completely switch up and don't act how they were in the beginning. I'm trying to be very consistent. I want both men to have huge flaws and both men to have huge perks. And I ultimately think I want, like, you know, of course the end to reveal, like, despite their flaws, one is very genuine and is trying their best and is just human, but also the other isn't really mature enough to realize that what they're doing is causing actual harm. And like, even though you do mean well, you're doing it in a malicious way and you think that the ends justify the means type of situation and all that. But yeah, that's currently what I'm at. I love how I just completely turned the climax on its head, and I'm almost done. I think I'm currently on chapter 48 of my draft, or not my draft. Oh, I wish. Chapter 48 of the outline, and I'm almost done. So I think maybe later tonight I'll come back on, give you guys my final thoughts and all that. But y'all, plotting. Who would have known? All right, friends and foes, I'm done with my outline. I did it. It is a total of 55 chapters outlined, and I tried my best, but I've just realized a lot of things. For one, outlining is just so good. Like, I don't think I can have a story in my mind and then initially start off plotting, and I think that makes me a pantser, right? I think it's really good for me to like start off with pantsing and just kind of keep writing, get to know my characters, get to know kind of the vibe, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard for me to know everything before starting to write. And so I think having that Word dump document definitely helped me and is going to be kind of pivotal with at least completing this draft. Like I said, I outlined 55 chapters. I'm currently on chapter 24. I think 24 or 25. So I thought I was halfway. I'm actually less than halfway, which sucks, but you know, it's okay. And I do think maybe some chapters are going to consolidate. And I think what's also important to note is that all the themes that I came up with a couple months ago and stuff that I want to put into the book, it's now me outlining and making sure I'm gonna draft for the last half of the book. There's so much in the beginning that I didn't even touch. And so I know that once I'm done with this first draft, I'm gonna have to go back and like sprinkle in the different themes and relationships and all that stuff later on. So I do think that this is really helpful for me, because even when I was outlining, I was like, oh, I can't forget to like mention this thing because this is also an important part of the story, and this thing. And I just think that's why like the outline ended up being so long. Though I think I mentioned how I want to do like 5,000 words each week minimum. So when I first started writing, my chapters were like 1,000 to like 1,300 words, and the more I write, it's starting to get like 2,000, close to 3,000. So I'll probably end up only writing like 2, maybe 3 chapters in a week. So let's do some math. If I have 30 more chapters to write, and maybe say that's each one is like 2,000 words, so then I have 60,000 words left to write, which would take me... Okay, so all that calculations, that would take me 3 months to finish the rest of my book if I was able to keep my 5,000 words, roughly 3 months. So we're currently at the end of June, so I should be done by the end of September with this pace. Though it would be so great if I can like write more than 5,000. Like if I can do 10,000, couldn't that be crazy? Yeah, like if I could do 10,000 a week, I can finish this book in a month and a half. If my math is correct. I don't really like math, but I think the maths. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm really excited. Like when I was getting towards the end, I was just falling more and more in love with my story. There were some parts where I was kind of like, is this too cringy? Because I was thinking like, oh, maybe I can do like a whole like huge display type thing. But I don't really like reading that in books. I kind of like the small sweet moments that are like very intimate. I don't like it when like people can see other people's love, and I think that's also because it's very similar to me in my own relationship. Like I don't like letting things be seen. Like y'all don't even know what my husband looks like, and if you didn't even know I was married, now you know. So I think I'm very much reflecting my own relationship and what I prefer to read into this, and I don't think I want like a huge grandiose gesture or anything like that. But yeah, plotting is very fun. I'm kind of scared for when I have to reverse outline because I know that there's gonna be a lot to add. Even now I just remember that I have another theme in my story about like Noah and the relationship with her parents that I did not address and we never fully closed out. So I gotta go back and add... Ooh. How are people doing fireworks already? I think it's for the 4th of July. It is June 27th. Like, let's relax. But yeah, I need to add that into my outline before I go to bed. But I hope that this book isn't messy. My biggest fear is that I have all these themes, which I addressed a couple videos before, but some of them include like complicated familial relationships, unlearning things that you were taught and how you are now as an adult. Also, what's right and what's wrong. Like there's a lot of things sprinkled into my sweet little book. And it's looking like my book is going to be 100,000 words. So I know that's a good amount, but I hope that it's not me focusing too much on like the romance or the other aspects of the relationship instead of other things. You know, I just really want to make sure that it's balanced, which will be really hard for me to tell at this moment. Like I'm very zeroed in right now. I haven't read my book from start to finish yet. I have no idea how it looks from a bird's eye view, and this could be a complete mess, and it probably is a complete mess. Like I said, this is the first time I'm ever writing a book, so I know that there's so much surgery that needs to get done in this book, but it's okay. I'm here for it. This is exactly what I signed up for, and if I can get it done summer, fall, I will be happy, and if I keep this goal up, then I should be. So I just need to get organized and make a plan and keep track of it, which if you know me, you know I don't really like word count goals. So maybe like with my 5,000 word goal, I should do chapter goals instead. So maybe, okay, so if I have 30 more chapters to write, then if I can write 10 chapters a month, then I should be able to finish again in the 3 months. So maybe we should do that instead. 10 chapters a month. Yeah, I think that's good. So then if I miss my weekly goal, then I still have time to catch up. 10 chapters a month. Yeah. Is that crazy? No. It's just hard for me because I've been writing so sporadically this past 11 months of writing, and so it's hard for me to know if this is too much or is this too little, because I haven't zeroed in on writing yet. Like, this is very new to me. It's been on the back burner for so long, and I know life is gonna get so busy after the fall, or actually in the midst of the fall, like October 1st, like things are gonna get crazy. So if I can finish draft 1 by then I feel like it'll be easier to balance other things going on in my life with my story, because I don't want to like let it die, you know? So anyways, I think that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you made it to the end, go ahead and put the like a pen and paper emoji, or a pencil emoji, or a pen emoji, or a paper emoji, any type of like productive type emoji. Leave that in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.